consider we're coming off of 10 consecutive days of the U.S. striking Iran anew and the president repeatedly threatening to go harder, to consider heavier options, to use his language, to try to finally bring the regime to heel. Is that the only course forward, is just to intensify a campaign that has killed so many Americans already?
Well, first thing, your heart goes out to the families that lost their loved ones. I was fortunate to be able to serve in the U.S. Navy, but never got shot at. So my heart goes out to the families that lost loved ones. Nobody wants that. You know, unfortunately, Iran's been killing Americans for 47 years. We finally have the president that said enough's enough. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They're not going to have the ability to continue to kill Americans. Unfortunately, it's going to continue to take military effort to do it. The Iranian regime is not ready for change, so it's probably going to take a lot more bombing to get it done. But if we don't, then we're all at risk. None of us want to be killed by a nuclear weapon, so I mean, it's war is terrible.
If a lot more bombing must be done, there's a question about how much it might cost, and that was a big part of the conversation today with the defense secretary. He had a number for us today, $37.5 billion. Knowing this supplemental request is about twice that, what is the administration girding for? Beyond replenishing supplies, will there be much more money required to continue this operation?
Well, we don't know. The bottom line is we don't know. We don't know when the Iranian regime is going to come around to decide they don't want to continue to kill Americans.
Well, then should this be paid for if this is going to be a longer haul?
Well, I think, I believe everything ought to be paid for. I don't think this government should, any government should be running deficits. And so I've been frustrated up here because we're running $2 trillion deficits right now. So I think things have to be paid for if we want to get inflation under control.
Right.
And nobody wants their taxes to go up. It's a trade-off, right? Nobody wants to go to war, but we don't want them to have a nuclear weapon to kill us. I've got kids and I've got grandkids, and I don't want them to kill a nuclear weapon, or I'm sure you're in the same position. You want your family killed by a nuclear weapon. So it's going to cost us money. It's going to cost to have a strong military to be able to stop this. And let's look at the world right now. The world's dangerous. The world's dangerous for, you can blame anybody you want to blame, but the government of Russia hates us. The government of China hates us. The government of Iran hates us. The government of North Korea hates us. So it's a dangerous place. And so if we don't build up a military that can defend our freedom, then we're going to lose it. And so, unfortunately, it costs money.
Yeah.
Well, should there not be answers as to how much ultimately this is going to cost? Do you feel that the Pentagon has been transparent enough with that information? The defense secretary only revealed that today, giving sworn testimony before the appropriations committee.
Well, I think it'd be easy if we knew how many more days it was going to take. We don't. I mean, we don't know how many more days it's going to take to get a new regime and to destroy them and bring them to the table. We just don't. And we actually, you never have enough information about how well your enemy is doing. So I look. Pete Hegseth has been always open and honest with me. If I call him or if I text him, I get an answer within hours. He's very transparent with me. He's been very transparent with the Armed Services Committee. But I don't think we know yet. I mean, I wish I knew. I wish it was tonight. I wish they would come to their senses, because I don't want more American lives lost, and I don't want to be at war. But I don't want them to have a nuclear weapon.
Well, so with all of that said, do you buy talk of a 10-day ceasefire that we've been hearing about recently, or is that a waste of time? How do you trust this party with a ceasefire?
I mean, we tried. I mean, we gave them the chance of diplomacy. Okay, they used it to rearm, basically.
Yeah.
And they were never serious. So they're a bunch of liars. They want to kill us. So
if we want to get serious, do we bomb Pickaxe Mountain and do we seize Kharg Island?
So, I mean, that's a decision the president gets to make.
Understood.
But the way I look at it is look, we have to do everything. I mean, nothing should be off the table. Yeah, we don't want to be at war, and we don't want Americans killed. So whatever it's going to take, because they want to kill us. Whether we like it or not, we'd love to have diplomacy, we don't want to be at war, they want to kill us. So if somebody wants to kill you, I want to make sure they don't.
Well, you mentioned that the Iranian regime, to use your language, hates the United States. You mentioned Russia as well. Obviously, there is some renewed momentum behind a sanctions bill that would intensify the pressure on Russia via giving the president authority to implement secondary tariffs on buyers of Russian energy products. Is that going to pass in the Senate? Under what timeline?
It should. I think it'll pass before we go on recess.
So within the next week.
I mean, look, Putin's despicable. You look at the women and children he's killed in Ukraine. I mean, he's a despicable human being. And anybody that wants to support him by buying his oil is doing the wrong thing, and they ought to be held accountable. I mean, the world would like to be. None of us want to be at war. The world would like to be at peace. Maybe people like Putin and Xi and the Ayatollah don't. But so it's going to take. We all have to be in this together. So stop helping these thugs. These are thugs. They're killing their own citizens. They don't care about their own citizens. Look at Putin. How many people in Russia have died because of what he's done? Yeah. I mean, how does he wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, "I've really done the right thing"? No. I mean, it's hundreds of thousands from what you read.
Yeah, it's remarkable, the loss.
It's remarkable.
On both sides here, Senator. These are just a couple of the items you could be voting on with your week and change left before the August recess. There's also a continuing resolution that we haven't had a chance to ask you about. Is that a smart move right now? Looks like the votes are there in the House to pass this and avoid what could be a shutdown at the end of September.
We have to do it.
You have to.
I mean, we can't have a government shutdown.
So regular order is not going to fly this time.
I mean, the Democrats have walked away from it. We finally got the list of anomalies to be able to put together a continuing resolution. I hope the Democrats vote for it. So we'll see. But we need to vote on that to try to make sure we don't have a government shutdown. It's horrible for the people. I mean, think about it. I mean, the Democrats have shut down the government 3 times. These are people that work their butts off up here. They're federal workers and they're all over the country and they don't get paid. Some of them didn't get paid for weeks and weeks and weeks. They have mortgages. They have groceries. They have kids' camp, all this stuff, and they're not getting paid. That's wrong.
Well, your leader, Senator Thune, has suggested the CR could ultimately get attached to the third budget reconciliation package if the votes aren't there with Democrats. Basically do this along partisan lines. What precedent would that set?
Look, we've already gotten rid of the filibuster. Now, just remember, the filibuster is supposed to be only to stop debate, not to stop bills. But we've already gotten rid of the filibuster for noms. We've already gotten the filibuster for judges, right? So the only thing left is for bills. And so it's when we say reconciliation, that means you can do it with just your party votes.
Right.
That's basically getting rid of the filibuster. Mm-hmm. So my view is just get rid of it. Let's get rid of it and pass the stuff. We care about election security. We care about funding the government. There's so many things we care about. Let's get them done.
Well, Senator Thune has stood by the filibuster. He has previously publicly said he's not willing to kill it. You're saying he effectively would be if he chooses that course of action.
Well, it's a way to get around it, right? And it's only for budgetary items. But let's be honest. There's not a lot left. It's only bills because we're using reconciliation, which we don't have a filibuster rule for that. We've already gotten rid of it for nominations. We've already gotten rid of it for judges. So there's not much left.
I'm going to just mention for the benefit of our radio listeners that we're talking to Senator Scott here in the rotunda of the Russell Senate office building, which is why you're hearing all this echo. And he's wearing a lapel pin that says one word, jobs. I have to ask you, we've been talking about not only jobs every day, but data centers every day. Byron Donalds, the congressman from your state, talked to us about his plan, not for a moratorium, but to control power off the grid and keep water, for instance, in a closed circuit on site. That's a different attack than New York, which put in place a year-long moratorium. As somebody who has background in tech, you're wearing the jobs pin. What's the right answer? And should Florida be welcoming data centers under that construct?
Well, so when I ran for governor back in 2010, the state had lost 832,000 jobs. I'm a business guy. I built businesses all my life. I grew up in public housing. I watched my parents struggle for work. So jobs is the most important thing we can do for any family. So right now, we need more jobs. My state is hurting with jobs right now. We need to get the cost of living down, and the only way that's going to happen is balance the budget. Now, with regard to data centers, what we've got to do is we cannot allow data centers to cause electricity prices to go up. That is not fair. It hurts the poorest families. If you're rich, none of this stuff hurts you. On top of that, we've got to preserve all of our water. Water is important in my state. We're going to preserve all the water in my state.